So we're going to be passionate, commitment, vision, keep learning, and the last one is this. We have to take total responsibility for who we are. You and I are who, what, and where we are because of the choices we make in life. We don't choose everything that happens to us. Obviously, down in Haiti, those people didn't choose to have that happen to them, but they choose how they deal with it. You know, last year we had a huge hurricane down in Houston, Texas. Anybody from the Houston area, Galveston area? You know what I'm talking about, right? Huge hurricane, devastation. I mean, unlike I've ever seen before. Folks, there are two kinds of folks down there. Folks who become victims and never recover, and those who say, it is what it is, I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to make something out of it. I'm going to do something with it. In our business, we help clients select top talent. We have a whole system of benchmarking, assessment, comparative analysis that we do with our clients to help them select the best people in this room to hire, knowing that they have a higher percentage of performing at a higher level than anybody else. We measure three key things: behaviors, motivators, and core skills, core competencies. The key to selection and performance are in the core skills. We measure 23, right? 23. How many we measure? Of those, there are 5 that we call the big 5. They rise to the top. There's a statistical gap. There's the other 18. We call those the big 5. Of those big 5, number 1, the most important core skill for extraordinary performance is personal accountability. Defined as, I do what I say I'm going to do. I do what I say I'm going to do. It's our nature to do what's right. We don't know any other way to do things. How many know somebody like that, by the way? You know somebody whose nature is to always do what's right. They always make the right decision. They always, I mean, not that they don't make mistakes, but they're always desiring to do what's right. Right? What's fair? What's right? I do what I'm supposed to do. I do what I say I'm going to do. I do what's right. We define low levels of personal accountability as people who come into life butt first and go through life butt first. Well, I know I'm supposed to do that test, but I know I'm supposed to be at that meeting, but I know I'm supposed to do this, but I mean, there's somebody like that, by the way. Right? Now, that but takes the responsibility for life off of their shoulders. Now, they may not completely shirk responsibility. They may only move it off of this much, just a little bit. But that little piece right there allows them not to have to be responsible for changing what they do. And they get stuck, and they make the same mistakes over and over and over again in life because they never own responsibility for where they're at. We can't become that. We've got to become men and women who do what we're saying we're going to do, and when we don't, we make it right. I like to listen to a guy named Andy Stanley out of Atlanta, Georgia. His leadership stuff is outstanding. Look for a great podcast. Find Andy Stanley on iTunes and download his leadership podcast. He says that accountability creates trust. 3 steps. Step number 1. If I said I was going to do it, I'll do it. If I told you I'd do it, I'll do it. That's step number 1. Step 2. If I can't, you'll hear from me first. If I told you I was going to do something and I can't do it, you'll hear from me first. You won't hear from somebody else. You won't read it on Facebook. Right? You won't do that kind of stuff. If I said I was going to do it and I can't do it, you'll hear from me first. And the third one is this. If you ask me why I didn't do it, I'll tell you the truth. I'll own it. I won't shirk responsibility. We've got to become men and women like that. Right? Men and women of integrity and character in order to be successful. You know what's really sad about that other group, those who don't take responsibility? It's not so much that they get stuck in everything. That's bad enough. But here's the sadder part to me. When you tell them, great job on that project, excellent job on that test, whatever it is, when we compliment them, they reject the compliment. They deflect it. Anybody know somebody like that? I'm not talking about somebody with a humble spirit. I'm talking about when you genuinely compliment them, they never receive the compliment. They are no more responsible for the extraordinary things they do in life than they are for the mistakes they make. I'm sad about the mistakes. I am far more sad that they will never realize how phenomenal they are. Because they can't take responsibility for that either. We are all created extraordinary human beings. We're all created to do amazing things. Be plus do equals have. We have to become the right men and women in order to have whatever it is we choose to have in life, whatever it is you're dreaming of today that you're going to have in the future, we've got to become the right men and women in order to have all of that. Passion, commitment, vision, keep learning, take total responsibility. Like I said, the back of my business card says inside every human being a champion heartbeats. That's what I believe about you guys. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, what lies ahead of us, what lies behind us, are tiny, tiny matters compared to what lies inside of us. My belief is inside every one of you guys, a champion heartbeats. Can you feel it? I pray you do. Like I said, it is a privilege to be with Horned Frogs at TCU University. God bless you guys for having me today, and God bless you in the future. Good luck.